Oh, hi there. My name is Ian Middleton. I am a travel and landscape photographer, and you can find me on my Facebook, Instagram page at Ian Middleton Photography, or my YouTube channel here is Ian Middleton Photography and Travel, or you can find me on my website, ianmiddletonphotography.com. This is one of my quick photography tips, and today I'm going to show you how to use the highlights tool to add drama, texture and dimension to your clouds, and also you'll see how we can affect things like the churches too. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the highlights tool, I'm in Photoshop at the moment, but you also have this same tool in Lightroom. Now in Photoshop, what you do is you go up to Image, Adjustments, and down here you've got your Shadows and Highlights tool. They come together. Now by default it will open like this, so I advise you to click this button, Show More Options, because then this gives you some extra tools to work with which are absolutely necessary. Now this is your highlights tool here. Now, essentially what the highlights tool does is what it says. It actually darkens the bright parts of your image, so it darkens the highlight areas. So if we look at our picture now, if I just slide the amount slider across, we'll do it quite drastically, you'll see what it's doing. It's darkening here. Okay, now you've got three tools here. The tone, I never worry too much about that. I typically leave it at 50, but the tool that's very useful here is the radius tool. Now the radius tool, essentially what that does is when you adjust your highlights, you're darkening the area around a pixel. Now the radius tool determines how much around that pixel is affected. So if you increase this, you're basically then affecting a larger area around, so like a larger circle essentially. And what that means is basically the darkening of the highlights will not be so concentrated into smaller areas. And the best way to show you that is to demonstrate. I always leave it usually defaults to 30. Okay, now the best way to show you, well, let's just first of all show you the full effect on the image. Okay, so if I take this up now, as with most of these tools, be careful not to overdo it. Look, if I do that, it's ugly, it's horrible, it's way too much. I typically take mine up to around about 10, maybe 15, 20 at a push, but very rarely above that. But in most cases 10 is enough. Now you can see it's making it's darkening down the sky a bit. Yeah, you can see the dark areas of the clouds are getting darker, and it's basically adding dimension and definition to the sky. It's really, really great. But if you look down here at the church, you'll also see with this off, now the church is white, and of course the light is hitting it, so it's actually very bright, and there's a lot of glare on the church, which can often happen when photographing white churches. So if you take the highlights up to 10, you can see that I'm taking away the glare off that church. Now if I adjust the radius, you'll also see that it's adding much more definition to my sky. But when I do that, you'll see that I lose what I've done on the church down here. Yeah, if we go back, pull it to 30. Now look, you see the glare's been taken off, but once I adjust my radius up, the glare comes back again. That's because my adjustment is not so defined, and it's actually adjusting the larger area. So then I lose the fine adjustment on the church itself. So let's take that back to 30. Let's cancel that. Now I'm going to zoom into the church so you can see actually better what that does. So again, shadows and highlights, take that up to about 10. Let's flick off the preview. Now you can see what it's done. Yeah, it's really taken that glare away from the church and brought back some of the definition and contrast and colour. Yeah. But again, if I work that up to 300. I've lost that. There's actually no difference now if I flick that preview on and off. Okay, so let's cancel that. Now the best way around this actually is I make two separate adjustments. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to leave that at 30, I'm going to adjust that to 10 to take that glare off my church. I'm going to OK that. Now I'm going to go again to my highlights and set adjustments, and this time I'm going to do another adjustment of 10, but this time I'm going to take my radius up way high. So now I'm really just affecting the sky. See, now look how I'm bringing out the drama and the detail of those clouds. It's fantastic. So there you have it. It's a very quick and simple adjustment. Now typically after I do that, I sometimes go to my curves and just add a touch of contrast just to finish it off. There we go. And that's it. It's very, very simple. You know. Here's another picture. We could do the same thing here again. Yeah, I've got some lovely clouds here and some nice light falling on the mountains here, a nice bit of shadow down here. Now there's no church, so I don't have to worry about that. So again, I can go to my shadows and highlights, whack it up to about 10, whack this up. Now you can see this dark part of the cloud has been darkened, so it's brought out more definition, more detail here in these areas. Again, touch of contrast, not too much, just a touch using the curves tool. Simple quick adjustment has made a world of difference to my photos. So there you have it, a very quick tip. Use that highlights tool for your skies and your clouds, and also to take some of the glare off your churches. So hope you've enjoyed this, hope you found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and check out my other videos. Catch you later.